Recent reports indicate that ByteDance, the Chinese parent company of TikTok, appears to be delaying negotiations for selling the app's U.S. operations while awaiting approval from the Chinese government. Also, grass is green, the sky is blue, and water is wet. But let's stick with TikTok for a moment. The Chinese government is likely to resist approving the sale in general, preferring to let TikTok U.S. operations just go away unless broader trade and technology concessions are made by the Trump administration. They're biting back. Back in January, way back in January, U.S. Supreme Court upheld a law requiring ByteDance to divest its TikTok U.S. operations by the 19th of that month due to national security concerns. This was passed bipartisanly months ago and given the chance for President Biden to basically say, let it go, let it ride. He did not say that, but he said he wasn't going to actually enforce the ban. So it didn't get banned officially, but it got pulled for about 8 hours. Then after 8 hours, President Trump got a proper thank you on the TikTok app saying President Trump is working with us to fix this. He actually extended the deadline by 75 days through executive order, not by the actual law, to allow more time for a potential sale. The problem is the Chinese government is basically opposed to the sale. They were then, they still are now. Reports suggest that officials are considering an option to sell it to Elon Musk as a viable option, but it's also China. Situation extremely fluid. As far as we can tell, they are stalling because they can stall. They just can. By both legal requirements and Chinese government decisions, it takes a lot of work to get these things done. So there's a lot of talking that must be done to make sure all things are kosher at both ends. There's no talking. There's no actual negotiations. Elon Musk is not the first billionaire guy to throw money out at this thing, and many folks want to take control of it and use it for their own personal playgrounds. The problem is, how does it work? When you get TikTok US operations, when you buy the whole thing, you get how it works. You get the algorithms, you get the data, all that stuff like that. Because we, US, are afraid that China will just ask ByteDance for the information and they'll just give it to them, we want to divest it from the Chinese hands. But the Chinese don't want us in their pockets either. Don't want us in their secrets. Don't want us to know how they got to be so powerful with the TikTok. How TikTok has overrun all the American style apps in those fashions, and all the clones that try to do the same thing just got pushed to the wayside. No one's doing Instagram Reels. No one's doing all the other things. Snapchat is basically dead, but TikTok is living, and where people get their news from, good, bad, or really bad news from. So how does TikTok do it? We'll find out if it's bought, or Elon will find out if he buys it and then use it to manipulate the world some more, I guess. But the problem is, Chinese, they're not buying it, or they're not selling it. They're not buying the tactics we're using to get control of this thing that we're afraid of. And they actually have the upper hand. TikTok may go away because ByteDance doesn't want to deal with it, and China wants it to go away. We have no say if that's the case.